Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, today we're going to cook golden syrup flapjacks.
That was my choice. That
Yes.
was my choice.
William had
Not your choice.
this recipe. So let's all do him proud today, shall we? Now we're going to start off by putting the oven on, and it's 80 degrees Celsius, 100 fan,
Try to turn it up.
300
Sorry, Lisa.
Fahrenheit,
What one are we using?
50. Mandy, can you mute everyone, please?
What's it in gas, Kim? What's it in gas?
Just getting to gas. It's Gas Smart 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah. I'll start from the beginning again because it was a bit noisy. 180 degrees Celsius, 160 degrees, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, Gas Mark 4. So you should all have your oven starting to warm up. Now, the first thing we're going to do, because hopefully, touch wood, this is going to be a nice little recipe that's quite simple. Now, I've got an 8-inch square tin, and what I've done is, although I think it would have come out all right anyway, I've just put a piece of paper in the bottom. I don't know if any of you want to do that, or if you don't feel it needs it, then you haven't got to, but I put it in there just to be on the safe side that it will come out okay. Now, you don't need this tin because, as Tom suggested, you can use a round tin, 8 to 9 inches round. If it's got a bottom that comes up, that's nice to try and get the flapjack out. But don't worry if you haven't, because it will come out somehow, some way. So I've already frozen, but I hope you can still hear me. Can you hear me? No.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Right, thank you. Yeah, if every now and then you can just let me know if you can't hear me, and unfreeze me if possible. It's been working really well today.
I'm on it. Hang on.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. Now, the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to put the tin out the way for a minute.
Sorry, Kim, do you mind waiting for a bit, please? Will's washing his hands.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I probably should say everybody wash their hands, but I'm sure you all washed your hands before starting. But Will is showing a wonderful example there of washing his hands. Well done, Will.
And there he is, on screen.
On the screen, that is really good.
Hello, Kim.
Hello.
Hi, Lawrence.
Gonna watch the cooking.
Hi. Oh,
Right.
what they're doing?
I'm cooking. I'm just about to start the cooking. Now I'm going to weigh the butter. So you're going to be weighing 295 grams of butter. I did write down unsalted, but don't worry if you haven't got unsalted. So 295 grams of butter. That's a fair bit of butter, isn't it? These are going to be a bit cheeky, these flapjacks. And I've got a big saucepan, a big non-stick saucepan. So as big a saucepan as you can find. And when I've weighed the butter, 295 grams, I'm putting the butter in the saucepan. This is a different way of cooking today because we're going to be using the hob, but very carefully. Now I'm getting my scales back ready. I'm popping that out of the way for a minute. Now what I'm going to do to measure the treacle, the golden syrup, to save making a right old mess in my scales, I've got a little, like a little dish that fits inside. And I'm popping that inside the scales. And then I'm adjusting the butter to go to 0, because obviously that little pot weighs something. And then I'm going to measure my treacle into that little pot so my scales aren't all sticky. So when you're ready, we're going to be measuring 250 grams of golden syrup.
Sometimes when I'm measuring stuff, Kim, I put the whole kind of bowl that I'm working with onto the scales, and then each time I'm going to add something new, I reset it to 0 so it goes straight into the bowl I'm working in.
Yeah, that could be a good idea. That would mean having to do it with a saucepan, but let me see if I can do it like that.
Oh, hello, Steve.
All tips are very gratefully accepted.
Yeah.
That works. Okay, you can do it Steve's way, which is probably much better. So I've now got my scales on my saucepan with the butter on top of the scales, and I've adjusted it back to 0. And I'm now going to be putting in 250 grams. Just make sure the saucepan doesn't block where the scales are, and just have a little look where the 250 is going to be.
Yeah, we haven't got enough butter.
We got one packet.
I know, this doing it in grams is a bit tricky, isn't it? It doesn't sound very much. And then when you go to weigh it, you think, oh my goodness.
We've only got £250, 50 gram packet of butter.
Yeah, okay. Just put less oats in, and
Okay.
it should come out all right if you're using oats or whatever you are using.
Nice crispies.
Yeah, we'll. Yours is an experimental recipe, isn't it? But it could,
Yeah.
I want to try that Rice Krispies flapjacks. I want to try that.
yeah, it could come out really nice. So yeah, I would just put less oats in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Treacle, I think you'll be okay with, because the recipe actually said if you want them extra treacly or syrupy, you know, put more. So I think you'll be all right with that.
Okay.
I am now going to start putting the syrup straight into the saucepan, and just be aware it's sticky. So I've got a spoon and I'm letting it
And very blobby.
trickle into this saucepan. And then once it's finished trickling, give it a good scrape out if you're using a tin. What I'm doing is I'm using what's left of a tin, and then I'm going on to another one. It's a long time since I've cooked golden syrup. That might be a nice thing to cook one time, a treacle tart. Anyone like treacle tart?
Yum, yum, yum.
That's my mum's favourite.
The other thing about using your main pan as well, it's less washing up at the end.
Yeah, Mike does that, so that's not too much of an issue.
The Kiel School of Cooking.
Yeah, right. I think I've got as much as I can out of the tin, so I'm now going on to my other syrup, and I'm work this one. Lovely. Right. Need strong arms to squeeze this out.
I don't know where that music's coming from.
Oh gosh, can you hear that?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, I thought it was Lawrence, so I've muted him.
It was Kerry singing, but it was my recording of Kerry singing. Terribly sorry, chaps.
Good idea, Steve.
Right. I have now reached 250 grams of golden syrup. I'm going to swap to a wooden spoon because I've got a non-stick pan. And I'm going to be moving over to the hob and on a very low heat and keep stirring till it's melted. We don't want it to burn. Okay, so we're just going to be keeping an eye on it. You can see I've gone over to my hob here now. It's going to take a little while to melt. Do you want to tell everyone what you're cooking next week while this is now? Let me know. How's everyone doing? Is it melting? I've noticed the treacle has gone nice and liquidy. And we just want that butter to melt amongst it now. Now, if somebody is helping you stir, then you could, at this point, be weighing out your oats. But don't worry if you're doing the stirring yourself. But at a point, we're going to be weighing 500 grams of porridge oats and a pinch of salt. Now my butter's starting to melt. I don't know about you, but I'm nearly there. Once it's melted, we'll be pouring, well, we'll be taking it off the hob, bringing it back on where you're working. And we will be adding 500 grams of the porridge oats. And also, if you wanted to add anything else, like maybe some chocolate drops, I've actually got an open bag of goji berries that I'm going to put a few of them in it because they're open. So I'm going to put some goji berries in, and I've got some chocolate drops, even some nuts. You could put some nuts in, but you don't have to. The basic recipe hasn't got that in. That's just if you want to sort of add. You could put some little bits of glacé cherry in. But there are things you can add if you like this when you eat it. If you like it, if you make it again, then you can add things to it. You can even, when they're cold, dip them in chocolate, or dip half of it into chocolate and let it dry, and then it's like a chocolate flapjack. I bet you've seen them in the shop. So they're all little things you can use to decorate. Now, I am almost there. I hope you all are too. I'm going to stand my saucepan on top of my cooling rack because I've got that ready for later. And I don't know if you can see, it's just like a lovely liquidy, nice smelling, syrupy. So weigh your oats, and then I'm going to put a pinch of salt. All right, and I'm going to put the oats in. Into that saucepan. This is where we all hope we've got a big.
Put the oats in the saucepan then, Ken.
Say that again.
You put the oats into the saucepan.
Yes, on top of your treacle and your syrup and your butter. Yeah, it's all done in one pan, which is really nice. And like Steve said, it saves washing up so much. And then you stir it very carefully and get all that lovely treacly goodness all around these oats. And you have to really mix it because all the liquid is at the bottom. So mix it until you can see it's lovely and coated with the treacle and with the butter. So it's looking like that. And keep stirring. Luckily, this saucepan was plenty big enough. Once you start mixing it. Now, at this point, if you wanted to add something extra, and this is an experiment, it says at the bottom of the recipe, you can add some bits. I'm going to put in a few of those goji berries. And I'm going to put in some chocolate drops. And I'm going to stir that in. When you're happy that you've got all the oats covered by the syrup and butter, that's when we're going to bring our tin back. And then we pour. It's quite heavy actually, so you might need a little bit of help holding the saucepan and pouring. Pour it into your tin. I've got my tin on top of a baking tray, just so I've got something to pick up. Now it looks a bit of a mountain at the moment, but we are going to press it down with a fork. So scrape everything out of your saucepan. We want every little bit. And scrape it off your spoon. And then gently press it down. Gently, gently, so it goes in the corners. And you'll see what looked like a big mountain is actually now flattening in. Lovely. Everybody okay? It's quite simple, isn't it?
It is looking good, Kim.
Oh, thank you, Lauren.
It's all right.
You keep your eye on me and make
I
sure I'm
will.
doing it all right. It's lovely to have you here today.
I know because I was late because I had my lunch, so I was late then.
Ah, well,
So
it's you can see what we do on a Friday afternoon now, can't you?
yeah, I am now. Yeah. Yes. Into I am going about quarter past 2. So
Okay. Yeah, you've got plenty of time. You might even see the cooking finished, and you'll be able to watch some of the drawing. Now, everybody, hopefully, it looks like. Could you unfreeze me, Andy, please? Are you there?
Yeah, yeah. I can understand it. Why? It's not Korean thing.
Right, I've unfrozen. It should look like that. Nice and pressed into the tin. So it looks like that. And you
Look off, Roger.
Yeah.
Look at off, Roger. Kim.
Yeah, let me just move over. Yeah. Keep there. Oh yes, perfect. Perfect. Right, now we're going to put it in the oven now for 30 minutes until it's golden, well, on top. Okay, so nice brown on top. 30 minutes.
You don't care, do you?
No, I know what you mean. Oh, right, you don't.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you take care.
And you, love. See ya.
Right, everybody, are we all in the oven?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
We will hand over to Tom now. So grab your drawing book and then we'll check the cakes in half an hour. Okay, to hand over, Tom.
You certainly are. Just in time, I was, by the looks of things.
Brilliant.
Good morning, Tom.
Well, afternoon, indeed.
Yeah, it didn't feel like afternoon.
Oh, I know. Tell
How are
me about it.
you?
I'm not bad, thanks. How are you?
Good, I'm fine.
Good. Right. I think I'm ready. I've just moved out, you see, and everything is absolutely everywhere.
Oh no.
So, hello. So by the time it was 1:15, I would start. Oh,
Just get my other bits and pieces out. Oh, yeah. Okay, and I think I'm going to use.
we've got just the one more session on faces this week,
Okay.
and we're going to do something else next week.
JP?
So this is this one.
I don't see you properly.
You need to be
I
pinned.
think Kim's still highlighted. I don't know. Can I change that or not? I don't know. I don't think so. No, need to. Who's hosting this?
Are we going to keep these?
Andy.
Kev,
Andy,
how long does it
Andy,
have to be for?
Can these use for breakfast or something?
waiting for Andy to come back.
Okay. I'll just tell you what we're doing then before I start.
Really? Put it in there.
We're going to do what's called a 3/4 view of the head. So it's not flat on, it's not side profile, it's somewhere sort of in there, sort of there. You really get a feel of that it's a 3-dimensional head. You know, we're into the 3rd dimension going. So we're going to have a face looking off at an angle into the distance. But no point me trying to demonstrate anything until it's not highlighted. Where's Andy gone?
Just waiting for him to come back.
Okay. I suppose you can all draw a circle, can't you? Well,
yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I'm just sorting these out because I'm going
that's fine.
My cards that I'm going to do later on. So I've actually done these. I've done these.
Oh, there we go. I'm pinned now.
I've done those.
Great. Very nice.
So just sorting them out. So
okay. There we go. Sorted. There we go. Right.
No, too much fish.
There we go. We can just about see the circle there.
No, because it means
Started
that
with.
prawns are going to go.
Now then, all those guidelines that we've talked about before, again, apply here. We've just got to think of them all slightly differently. So imagine your front-on ones, but they're now facing that way. Not that way anymore. That way. Nor that way.
Right, so which way? Which way did you say?
So I'm going to be drawing. So this person's nose is going to be sort of here, and he's going to be looking that way. Well, actually,
I can't really see the actual
that way.
shape of it.
All I've drawn is a circle so far. Nothing else.
Right, okay. So if I draw a circle on here. So go all around it. There we go. Well, there's my circle. Circle.
Are you there, Andy?
Is that any better for you?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Blacking that side a bit further. Okay, one circle.
Yeah, done the circle.
And then we before have sort of elongated that down into an egg shape, haven't we? But we don't want to do quite that today. If you want to follow that sort of step, you don't bring the face down from here because that would be front on. We want to sort of bring it down in an almost similar way to that we did last time when the face is inside profile. We want it to sort of come here, being the very edge of the face. But let's look at, first of all, something that we all can remember is that vertical line that cuts down through the middle of the face. We can put that in. It's just going to be at a different angle. So, for example, as I've said, my person is looking sort of that way. So not directly at me and not that way across the page. Sort of into...
So that way then. Not actually that way, so it's that way then.
guess an important thing we should stick in is to put the bottom, because we don't want to go too far, the bottom of his chin, because we don't want to go too far